Hello, SNA Assassinated. This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And this, yes, sir, ma'am, this is the night one edition of AEW Spring Breakthrough Dynamite, which tomorrow will be the night two Spring Breakthrough Collision. And there's two reasons why that they put it on tomorrow night's tomorrow night instead of Saturday night. One, because of the because of the special edition of AEW, and secondly because of the obvious reasons. The biggest spectacle of the year is going to be on that weekend. So yeah, like since I was like they're thinking about if that other company could do a 2-night special, so can we. And that's what they basically did. And their spectacle was the greatest. I'm hoping that this is just like a preview of what's definitely gonna be happening at AEW All In Texas, because we got all the matches that were well invested. Like from the start to finish, and we got 3 matches probably got into the Golden Trophy Awards, while we got one in particular got the Platinum Trophy, which one of them happened to be the semifinals match, and the other one happens to be the other gender semifinals, which I'm gonna be getting into just a moment. But yeah, we got so much, and it shows that Anthony Khan does listen to us fans. I'll say for tonight, of course, as far as it concerns for your boy SNA here, I think Anthony Khan did a very great job booking the show. And yeah, we have a hometown star got their moment. We got new champions. We got everything out how probably most of us predicted, including Super Ninja Austin did. And no, I'm not trying to sound like an self-absorbed a-hole, but just saying, because on my cup of tea, I think they did a very successful job, because on what the build is for on the road to AEW All In, and plus much more as well. Even though we had our hiccups, ups and downs, but no, it's mostly the ups that was on tonight's show. But I'm still gonna give it a pretty great rating for it. But yeah, but before I begin the review video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the post notification bell for more of SNA's videos. Also subscribe on my other channel at Super Ninja or SNA Entertainment. I must be thinking I'm already on that other channel. Sorry about that for nearly messing it up. But link is in the description box below. I will be doing a back-to-back video along with doing the AEW Collision one as well. So make sure to stay tuned for all of that. All of that tomorrow. And let's get into the first match of the night, which was the hometown star herself, and that is 4-belt CEO Mercedes Moné. This is where she had her match against probably her latest arch rival in AEW, and this is where they also reference that this is not the first time they fought in a match, which they encountered a couple of times, and they used to share a locker room. Which that was a nod to their time in the other company that's from Stanford, which I'm not going to get into more details onto that by now. But this is where I was thinking, I think the CEO even said, she encountered Athena a couple of times, and yeah, I was I remember watching one of their matches in particular, and it was a triple threat match or maybe a 4-way match, when they were in that ladder match for a briefcase, a very special briefcase. Unfortunately, none of them didn't win that briefcase, but yeah, that was the last time we saw them. But now Athena turned into this psychotic, harassing hypocrite that loves stalking and harassing her opponents or colleagues or whatever these days. And trying to be if she's the hero and the victim, much rather the opposite, if you ask me. But even though of how I think about it, she still had a fair share of fans that were cheering for her, shouting. Half the fans were shouting "Fallen Angels," while the other half, that was probably from Boston, was chanting "CEO." This is where then we got. They start going at it. Finally, start off the match, and that's they have this ovation for the CEO herself. It kind of reminds me when it was her debut over a year ago, actually 13 months ago. I made a video onto that back then, and yeah, you can check it out here on YouTube. It's on my channel that I used to do videos on, but now I no longer have access to that account, but it's still available here on YouTube. But anyways, yeah, this is where Excalibur was pointing out how much of a dream match this is, and I was totally agreeing with the masked star. This is where the masked commentator, I guess you could say. This is where things start with them grappling down. This is where Athena, unfortunately, arm dragged the CEO. This is where, luckily, she got back up. This is where she pushed it right into in the front row, in the left side of the stage area. This is where they started continue grappling on. But when they got up on the stage, this is where we got. But they eventually went to the back in the ring. But this is where Athena got her into a headlock. But this is where the CEO then was brainstorming some genius ideas on how to counter out of it. This is where then we got her throwing it to the top corner slide. This is where she goes for a shoulder tackle, only for her to get stopped by the fallen goddess herself. This is where she's like, "Oh, like you can't take me down." Like, yeah, like you couldn't take me down before, so what makes you think I'm gonna do it again? This is where that she trips over the CEO. This is where she tries to go for a pin. This is where I believe they got mostly a chance of the CEO, like which is Mercedes Moné's nickname. Like them start chanting around the arena because of course they were in their hometown. She was. It seems like if she was the baby face into this match, like. Which I wouldn't doubt that they would do a double turn in this situation. But anyways, but yeah, well, that'll be in the future, of course. But yeah, she was the complete opposite of that dirty guy, like that was getting booed in his hometown, which I believe was San Diego. That's in the other company. Like, and even that goofy guy, like I even noticed that too. But yeah, this is where the CEO was complete opposite of that rest. Even though they love doing that Three Amigos maneuver, but this is where we got what's her name? This is where we got Athena then goes up trying to go for a sunset flip, only for the CEO to what's it called? Go for a backslide, which first I was thinking like maybe she's gonna go for a finisher, the Monet Maker, but this is where we got Athena go for a super kick right onto the midset. This is where we got Athena to go for what's called what's that called? What's that called? What's that called? Inside cradle, yeah, that's what it was. Is where they start going back and forth with these pinfalls. Is where they start fighting this pinfall. Like if there's those old guys from TNA, like which I did say the names of the AEW's former partners. But this is where we got once they all kicked out of each other. This is where they gave some very they gave a very certain stare. Well, what's her name? CEO was looking at Athena in a disgusted way, while Athena was looking at in a maniacally smile, which it was very frightening if you look at it, like even if it was a glimpse of it. But this is where we got. This is where they end up trying to go round 3 for the grapple because this is their third time, of course, like of going for the grapple battle. But this is where Athena ends up winning again, like sadly. But this is where she pushes the 4 belts champion like into the left side. This is where Aubrey was like, okay, like you got her right in the corner, like so you better let go, like or else she will be DQ'd, and that will automatically eliminate her in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. But she had no choice because she was almost at 5. She threw Mercedes right to the right side. But this is where we got Monet then hits a flying head scissor, turned into a surprise roll up, which is the most devastating move in professional wrestling. But this is where then we got what's her name, the CEO, then grab onto Athena's leg when she got his leg swiper. She was like, "No way, Athena!" And this is where did she knee her right into the face because that's a very catchy move that you normally do. This is where she goes for a sunset flip power bomb right onto Athena in the upper right corner slide. Then hit a meteor to follow that up with, which had me shouting, "EO Sky has nothing on her!" And this is where then we got the CEO that goes for the pin, but this is where then we got. This is where we got Athena ends up kicking out of it at 2 point. What was it? Oh no, it was. I believe it was no. It was 1.7. Now, it was not 2. It was 1.7, which that's a very, very rare count for anybody. Even like somebody hitting the most weakest move in all pro wrestling would done. But it's where Monet tried to go for a finisher. Unfortunately, it did not work this time. But you know the rules in professional wrestling. If it don't work the first time, it will be a guaranteed the second time, which I think that was the case. But it's where Athena went for a flip over her, like when she got out of the Monet Maker. This is where she tried to go for a pin. Only for Monet kick out of it at 2 point. What was the third? 2.3, but it's where she once they both got back up, this is where Athena was still right on the offense side. Go for a wrist lock, kick in the midsection, and a kick in the head, and a step up in Sagiri. Then is where we got Athena then went up right into what was that? The upper right side is where she goes for what they call a cartwheel, flip into a clothesline. She tried to go for an inside cradle, but Monet did not take 3 for an answer. She never does, and it seems like she never will. Like if she had, especially when she adds some more belts, like in her collection, if that does happen. But yeah, that's I think that's only SNA's opinion that could happen, like because that would be pretty great to see, like be have the first ever women's wrestler to achieve that milestone of being like a 5, 6, maybe even 7, heck, maybe even 10 belts. Call her 10 belts in my name. Why not? Like with her winning every single championship on each promotion that AEW, all across AEW, and even the companies that AEW is partnering with. Like, why not? Like, just do something like that. Like if they would do with someone like Kenny Omega winning like AEW championships and other companies' championship belts. Like, why not? That would be very interesting to see. Which I believe that Olympic gold medalist guy did, like at one point when he was over at AEW's former partners company that they're now partnering with the rival company. And that was like he was belts like even in New Japan, like some of those belts that he won. But this is where we got Athena then throws the CEO right into the bottom corner slide. This is where drug over clothesline. The CEO then ducks out of it. Just goes to the top corner slide. Hits a flying hits it into a statement maker, nearly making Athena tapped out. Unfortunately, it did not work though because this is where she rolls out of the ring. But this is where the CEO still wouldn't let go. She still got it locked in. She nearly choked her out with Aubrey. I was like, okay, you're not in the ring no more. You need to. But this is where Monet would not let go. This is where she was like, let go. I mean, give up. I mean, this is where when Aubrey Edwards was telling her to get to let go. This is where Monet they was like, all right, like since you're not giving up, like I might as well just throw you back in the ring. This is where then she hits a double knees right into the face, like right into the right corner apron. Like when Athena countered her by throwing her instead. This is where then we got the. This is where we got the CEO try to go for a double foot stomp, which you got on the apron. This is where she got thrown right to the Barry's. I'm not Barry. Out of the announce table. This is where then she hit half of the eclipse stunner. Athena did right off the apron, like and right through the concrete floor. Like this is where both women were down. Like this is where then we got the partial powerful force and all of pro wrestling came on after that, which was the commercial break, but ends up like once we got back to the adverts. Fortunately, like. Yeah, we got the CEO was trying to fight back, but only for Athena to hit her with a thrust kick. This is where then she was about to hit her with the tombstone power driver, which I was about to say, she's not the Undertaker. And this is where CEO countered it, tried to look like about to hit her tombstone power driver her own, but this is where then Athena went right back. This is why I was about to attempt to say the word that I just said, but this is where Mercedes Moné finally got her right up onto her show, right up onto her, hits her with that knee to the face maneuver, Majiggy, like looking like a what's that called? Like some kind of a fireman's knee buster maneuver, yeah. But it was like a power driver maneuver. This is where she tried to go for a pin, only for that she gets denied at 2 point. What was it, 3 or 4? I think it was 3. But anyways, this is where we got. This is where then fans are chanting CEO, like if it's some kind of a spirit bomb. This is where then she tried to go for what move was it that she was trying to go for? It was like some kind of a flying head scissor DDT. Yeah, something similar to like that famous, respectful, fan favorite luchador would do. This is where she tried to go for a pin for that, but ends up getting denied at a 2.7, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, assassinators. But anyways, this is where we got. This is where fans are chanting, this is awesome. And this is where I was like, yeah, for sure. No matter what match is gonna be on the card, let's just like I said earlier, like the rest of the 3 matches got the Golden Trophy Awards, especially the main event and that other Owen Hart Cup tournament match. But for the men's side, like I say, it's not gonna get any kind of trophy. It's getting the platinum trophy of the night, like, and give it up. Shout out to the hometown hero, the CEO herself. But this is where then she tried to go for 3 amigos, which she did win for 3 amigos. But this is where then Excalibur then maybe 4, like when she was planning on doing the 4, when she started doing her idol signature maneuver, which is the late great Eddie Guerrero, like which is the what they call which he sadly passed away back in 2005. Yeah, 20 years ago. Yeah, exactly 20 years ago. Well, by November, of course. Well, yeah, my condolences go to the family and friends and the fans, of course. At this very sad time, at that very sad time at the time, of course. But this is where then we got a Hurricane Ronald right on. But this is where we got Athena pop-up power bombs her. This is where she we flip her right back up, hit her with a second power bomb, and the third one. This is where she was thinking about going for a final one. This is where she was like Owen Hart Cup, here I come. This is where the CEO flips right out of it, hits her with a backbreaker, like slipping behind what's her name what's her name, Athena, by hitting a backbreaker. Looks like the Irish Curse backbreaker and that Viper backbreaker in a hybrid, I guess you could say, way she did it, which it was pretty awesome, which SNA was wondering like how you could do that backbreaker maneuver. It looks pretty awesome in general, like no matter if it's like no matter if it's like a counter or like just doing like a running maneuver of some sort, like it looks pretty awesome to do. Like, but this is where we got the CEO then try to go for a maneuver. Like, I'm not sure what move, but this is where then we got Athena counters and trying to hit like a Dream Valley version of the Death Valley driver, which you all know, like your boy SNA have his own version of his own, which you like to call the Assassin Valley driver, which I kind of found that a mockery, which I was getting absolutely offended by the instigating, the instigating harasser, I guess you could describe it. This is where then when she spotted the CEO right into the upper right side, this is where she tried to go for a right hand, but this is where she immediately got blocked. Like, this is where the CEO then started countering out of the strikes of Athena. This was go over right hand. This is where the fans started chanting. One half of the fans were chanting Fallen Angels, while the other half was chanting for CEO, which that's fair enough because, Athena has a fair share of her fans, and she's I guess a baby face, I guess you could say, which I really don't like talking much about it when I'm reviewing the show, about talking about insider terms. But at the same time, like, it was, but yeah, it does make sense what I'm saying. It helps me explains the explains the explains the scenario in wrestling shows like these, of course. But anyways, this is where we got the CEO go for double knees to drive into the face of Athena, driven her right to the ropes. With the CEO like, like I got you now. This is where then we got the CEO. We'll think about hitting her with a German suplex, but this is where we got. This is where Athena was not letting go. This is where she was hanging on to the ropes as long as she can. This is where she was like, I don't care, like what you don't want, like you're going down there one way or another. I'm like, yeah, like well, like she brought this to herself because the only thing she had to do was not run her mouth and start talking trash of calling the CEO a passive aggressive biscuit iced tea chicken hotcakes. But anyway, this is where we got. This is where it got, Athena then pulled back. Like, this is where then she got herself in a sticky situation. But the one sticky situation she couldn't get out of, like, after hitting the CEO face first right into the ropes, this is where then she goes for a cartwheel flip into a sunset flip, and brought Athena down one way to bring down the fallen goddess. And this is where then she wrapped her legs around her arm to let go. This is where it kind of worked in a way, but at the same time, Athena starts stomping on her, like ruining the maneuver altogether. This was looking all of a bummer. Like, it kind of moved. This is where Athena tried to hit a German suplex of her own, but this is where the CEO wouldn't let her have it. Who could blame her? Like, that would be another insult to it. But this is where she ends up trying to go for a finisher, which we all know is the money maker, because she got right in the apron. This is where she nearly did so, but Athena countered, like, and this is where she kicked her right into the neck, like right below the chin. That would Antonio Schiavone described it. But yeah, I would say that like maybe this was a double curse kind of situation, like, which I made a massive mistake on. I apologize, assassinators. But yeah, like, unfortunately she double cursed her, which that does not look good. But like, no worries, because like, even though Athena power slammed her right into the hardest part of the ring, which that being the ring apron, she still would not take 3 for an answer. As a matter of fact, it was like 2.9999999999999. But it's where we thought the insult to injury was all done. But no, like, you could be horribly wrong, just like your boy SNA here. And this is where then, she ends up doing so because she got going for her own version of the statement maker. This is where she tried to pull on that bad arm of the CEO, which is the left arm. This is where she's like, tap out. This is where she's like, they call me the Forever Women's Champion for a reason, which I was thinking like, well, maybe that's true, but I think you should take the terms forever, maybe the longest reigning, keep that in there. If you could only just have that title of being known as that particular championship. But anyways, yeah. Right, because you never know, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it's where we got the CEO flips out of this power bomb that the CEO, when she countered it into a statement maker back to her own maneuver, which she was double lucky because like there's nothing that's gonna stop her from hitting that maneuver one way or another. Even if the opponent does get out of it, there's where we got the CEO clotheslines in the back of the head of Athena right to the upper right side is where she struggle over clothesline. Athena goes for a knife edge chop. Fans are wooing because thanks to the man that's the nature boy himself. But yeah, this is where we got Athena try to go for a power bomb, only for the CEO counters. But this is where she ends up getting insecure though. Like when Athena when she nearly lost control of her. This is where then Athena's like, why did she roll out of the ring? Which you already know what your boy the assassin here was feeling like when she rolled out of the ring. Like this was a brilliant idea that she did so, or else like we would have seen the unfortunate happen with her suffering her first loss, like in singles action. But this is where Athena then wanted to take this fast and furious, because this is where she started running across her, trying to tackle her right to the barricade. But the only thing she did not realize that the CEO was getting up on her own, and she was starting to focus like she once was. She sent the fallen goddess crashing right into the barricade of Barry's tombstone upright. Hit the side of her head, or maybe the back of it. I'm not sure. Like, what's his name? Antonio Schiavone was trying to speculate what happened, but this is where fans are chanting CEO, because why not? Because they are in their hometown after all. Like, even though she is a heel, but this is where we got this is where we got the CEO try to go for a suplex right onto on the barricade, draped Athena's legs on there, like if it's a spike DDT, like that certain Viper guy does, like that hears some voices or whatnot. But yeah, anyway, this is where we got Athena then ends up trying to go for she grabs onto the CEO. This is where then Mercedes Moné is like, you want to fight her? This is where Athena's like, you damn right. Athena responded back, you damn right I want to fight her. This is where then Mercedes hit a slap right on the back of her head. This is where, or not on the back of the side of her face, like in her head. This is where we got Moné then somehow flipped right out of a suplex that Athena was trying to do to her. This is where Athena then tried to go for a meteor, but Moné moved out of the way. But she ends up getting drop kicked like that Irishman that had that rhyming slogan saying, if you listen to him, you're gonna win. Well, he didn't say him, but you get the point. But anyways, this is where we got Athena then throws Moné right back in the ring. She was about to hit her clip stunner maneuver, only for Moné caught her right on time before she can even hit the maneuver successfully. This is where she flipped her over into a wheelbarrow roll. And how could you not guess like this is gonna help her lead her to the finals? Because once she hit the most devastating move in all the pro wrestling, she got the 1, 2, 3, and this was the greatest ovation that she probably ever gotten in wrestling in her hometown, at a wrestling event, whatsoever. Luckily it was not 9 years ago. Y'all probably know what I mean about saying that, but yeah, congrats to the CEO. Hopefully she wins the finals, which it will be in Glendale, Arizona, at Double or Nothing, which she'll be facing, I believe, either Kristen Statlander or Jamie Hayter. But yeah, let me know, assassinators, in the comments. But let's just say, she was not the only SNA favorite wrestler to win, to go to the semifinals, which I'm going to get into more about later on to the night on the SNA podcast on this review video. But yeah, this is where then she celebrated with all 4 of her belts. This is where she ends up getting interrupted before she can continue when she retrieved her 4 belts. This is where then the one of the belts that the CEO could potentially dethrone, Timeless Toni Storm, if she does make it in the finals, of course. Not trying to wish nothing wish no death upon her. Well, why should? Like if she's one of my favorite wrestlers, of course. But yeah, this is where we got the TIT woman herself that calls herself Timeless was on the top of on the audience section. This is where the fans are chanting Tony. This is where the CEO hilariously waved at her, which that also gets did some type of platinum trophy award of goofy wrestling. But let's just say we got more goofy wrestling, but there was not much like it would normally be in AEW, which I'll say the golden one's going to be up next very soon, but we're going to get into that in just a moment. But yeah, this is where then we got this is where the Tony Storm kind of teased right here what's to come, and do you think that could happen? Do you think we will be seeing it all in Texas? We could be seeing the CEO could challenge Timeless Tony Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship, or do you think it could be somebody else between Jamie Hayter or Kristen Statlander, whoever that might win the finals, that Double or Nothing? Well, that depends, like if it does happen or whatever. But let me know down in the comment section right down below about that, Assassinators. But moving on, we got the unmarkable Renee Paquette and start interviewing the cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea, and that is Hangman Adam Page. This is where Hangman Adam Page this is where Renee Paquette was like, do you know who could possibly be your the mystery the wild card mystery challenger tonight? And this is where he's like, look, I don't know. And this is where, before he gets mentioned, this is where we got some old friends of Hangman then came into his locker room. Or no, it was a backstage interview booth. And it happened to be none other than the irresponsible EVPs, and that is the Young Bucks that couldn't even run a retail store. Then this is where they brought their bitch man assistant, excuse my language, but yeah, it was Kazuchika. And this is where the Young Bucks then try to give them their apologies. They're like, we come in peace. And I'm like, yeah, you better come in peace or else there probably will be some consequences regardless. But anyways, this is where, and not to mention some repercussions. I was like, that's only if you mess with Super Ninja Austin, if you do mess with him, of course. But anyway, this is where we got Matthew says, it was like, I know you're about to apologize to us now, like, and we accept. And I was like, why? First of all, why he needs to apologize? And second of all, why are you trying to collect an apology from him? Like, if you don't want to have nothing to do with him anymore. But anyways, this is where we got this is where the Nicholas Jackson was like, oh my God, in Heavenly Kingdom, like, come, like, I will be done, like, you're looking very good, and he's like, you look very happy because we kind of swerved the championship, like, which he was trying to do that reverse psychology mind gaming stuff, like, by saying like yeah, I see a smile on your face, but that's because we cost your arch nemesis the championship, which that's Swerve Strickland, of course. This was like, he's like, you're welcome, by the way. This is when Nicholas Jackson, then Matthew Jackson's like, well, we got you. When we're saying, like, we want to let you know there's no issue that you have with the Death Riders. We can help fix that, okay? With them, like, pretending that they never had any type of associations with the group, like, which that's some kind of a hypocritical, I'll say, imposterous chaos that they are causing right now. But yeah, the thing is, Hangman Adam Page was not buying whatever thing, especially with them trying to help, with them voluntarily trying to help him. Like, they also try to voluntarily help him, like, win this match, whoever this mystery wild card guy is, like, on the Owen Hart Cup tournament. They'll gladly help him out. This is where then it's like, they're like, yeah, like, let's go for Elite for life. This is where then Kazuchika Okada's like, oh, hey man, like, why are you always so angry? Now, and this is where it had me respond and say, like, why you always call, like, people the B-bomb? And this is where then Kazuchika Okada just like, you need to turn your frown upside down. And this is where he got the most ugliest smile. Like, I'm just let you know, like, somebody think I'm being offensive, but I'm not. It's not because of his culture. It's because of him in general as a person. Even if he was a totally different ethnicity, I still would be saying the same thing right now because he's just a mockery. But anyway, this is where Hangman Page stormed out. This is where then he dropped the B-bomb. This is where Hangman Page like, oh, what did you say to me? This is where he went up there about the buckshot Larry and him in the middle of next week. He was like, oh, I like to smile. I was like, yeah, like, with your fake ass. Like, and yeah, like that future tribal chief at the time, guys would say, you're just a part-time and fake ass bitch. But anyways, yeah, enough with all the personal opinions and whatsoever. Like, we're gonna move on to the next on our cup tournament match, but it's the first round for Hangman Adam Page, because he's gonna be taking on what's his name? Taking on the mystery guy. And yeah, this is the surprising debut that everybody's been speculating for the past couple of months, which I was not expecting this. And Anthony Khan did a very terrific job of making his debut a surprise. Excuse me for a moment. This is where we got the Boston Bruins hockey player was in attendance tonight, which was standing right by the what they call the Stanley Cup, like Tuukka Rask, like, yeah, like he's a hockey player. And this is where he was standing. This is where then his kids were in attendance and holding up. One was holding like a CEO sign, which that doesn't take a genius. That it's a custom made Brewings like a Mercedes Monet version of a Brewings sign, I guess you could say, because it has the symbol like it, but it says Mercedes CEO Monet, like right in big letters. Well, small letters for her name, but her nickname was in big caps letters. But yeah, this is where one of them was had the Brewings jersey on, like, and this is where they got they were getting ready for the next match that was on for tonight, which I'll give probably the first golden trophy to, and that is Hangman Adam Page. This is where I was hoping it won't be the bitch man. Luckily, it wasn't, by the way. Like, or else I would say this AEW Dynamite, even though other things that great happened, like, it'd probably still get like 4.5 stars, but we're gonna get into that in just a moment. But yeah, this is where it was none other than the debuting. Wait for it. Drum roll, please. Josh Alexander. Yeah, it was Josh Alexander that just made his debut. This is where then he had a massive clinic in the match, clinic of a match against the Cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea. This is where we start getting like technical into this fight. This is where then we got Hangman Adam Page got started winning the battle by hitting an arm drag, right, or a wrist lock, I should say, onto Josh Alexander. This is where he started elbowing him. I'm like, man, how come I didn't watch this guy more often? Like, the only time I remember watching this guy was back in 2021 when I gave TNA Impact like a watch, like back in that time when AEW was partnering with them, especially when Kenny Omega and them was making appearances there. But this is where we got Hangman Adam Page and got thrown right to the left side. The Cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea shoulder tackles the former Impact World Champion. This is where our fans start chanting like, "Hey man!" And another half was chanting for Josh Alexander. This is where Hangman Page like, "Yeah, well, you impressed me for stand up, but that takes a lot of balls for that." This is where he's like, "But how about you staying up for this move, which he had the right hand?" This is where we got Josh Alexander fought right back, and yeah, it showed that he got plenty of balls that Hangman thinks he has, and yeah, not trying to sound inappropriate for saying it in that caliber, but this is where then we got Hangman Page started some elbow strikes right into the face, onto the to the latest edition of AEW Dynamite. This is where we got what's his name? Yeah. This is where we got Josh Alexander go for a big boot right to the face onto Hangman Adam Page. This is where Hangman Adam Page like, dang, like he nearly made me lost a tooth. And this is where then Josh Alexander was like, why are you just standing there for? Like, I thought you wanted some competition. This is where he started some knife edge chop onto the former AEW World Champion. This is where he started some chops after chops after chops, which earned him like probably a bonus of a second place spot, because given that he then went to the other place, like this is where the ring general put him on there, which he didn't got him number one, given that Uncle Dax, the actual former uncle, because he's no longer our uncle, he's a terrible human being for attacking our boy, the Uncle Cope that has a hope, I guess you could say. But anyway, this is where he dips Hangman Adam Page right to the left side, to the right side. This is where Hangman Adam Page go for a wrist lock. Then he picks him up into a fallaway position. This is where he slams him into that direction of a fallaway. Hangman Adam Page and kips up when he sent him right to the upper right corner slide. Then Hangman Adam Page, it was bottom right side. This is where he clotheslines what's the name? Josh Alexander. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where Josh moved out of the way. This is where he grabbed on the leg. This is where he spin him out, but Hangman Page hit a discus elbow. This is where what's the name? The Excalibur noticed that and pointed it out, saying like that Josh Alexander ate that huge spot. But this is where then we got Hangman Page throws Josh Alexander right to the upper right side, but it was being countered by Josh Alexander. This is where then he gets struck by Hangman Page struck him, and he flips over Josh Alexander, and this is where he tried to hit a strike to knock him outside, but only for Josh Alexander to hit a right hand to the face. Hangman Page bounced right into the bottom corner slide, go for a clothesline, which I believe he learned that from Chris Jericho, because the only guy I've seen him did that. Well, maybe like a dropkick version, which he still does to this day at the age of 54 years old. But this is where we got the cowboy that calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea, go for a springboard crossbody, only for, Josh Alexander move out of the way, hit the flapjack right onto the cowboy. That's where fans are chanting for Alexander's name. This is where Josh Alexander was like, okay, now I got him down. Like, who wants to see me boot the head off of the cowboy? This is where his fans started chanting like, we do. And this is where then we try to go for a boot, only for Hangman Page move out of the way, boots him right in the face. This is where then we got Hangman Page rolls into the ring. Then he goes up right up to the ramp that was very long. Looks similar to like TNA's ramp, how it used to be. But more like maybe a little bit shorter version. Like, we're making this event more like a pay-per-view special. But that's where Hangman Page then went right up on it. Went like at least like 10 feet away. Runs right up off the ramp and then went right onto the barricade that what's his name, Josh Alexander was hanging on. Clotheslined him, knock him, and make him go probably 45 in the air, which it may not be only just a quarter of a 180, but still something that. Even though it's barely a quarter of 180, but still, it looked very painfully dangerous. Like, the way he sold that. Somebody better give him, a medal of selling, because he just knows, his homework, I guess you could say, basically. He knows, his strat. He knows all the techniques and stuff. And somebody better give him credit for that, in management. Which I'm not questioning Anthony Khan, which he's already probably giving him a round of applause and kudos by now. But just saying let's hope that he sticks around in AEW for a while. But once they got done with the partial adverts, this is where we got Josh Alexander was back in control, trying to hit him with every move that he gotten. That even half of them are the move that I never thought he ever does in his time in other places in his career in wrestling. But this is where even for those moves, it still was getting kicked out by Hangman Page between at a 2.8 or 9. But this is where we got him to go for a German suplex on the Hangman Page, only for a Hangman to flip right out of it, hits the discus clothesline, which I believe that was paying tribute to the late Brody Lee. Rest in peace to that guy. Because he sadly passed away almost 5 years ago. But this is where we got with him, Hangman Adam Page and Josh Alexander was dead in the ground. This is where then we got Josh Alexander going to try to go for a pile driver on the Hangman Page, only for a Hangman to flip him right over, hitting him back first into the back body drop. Hangman Page, he goes right up on the top rope, into the bottom, the upper right side, actually, not the bottom right, but this is where he hits the moonsault right onto Alexander. This is where he threw him back in the ring. This is where Hangman Page was done for good. This is where he ducks out of the clothesline. Then he hits him with a pop-up power bomb, like a sit-out version than what that prize fighter guy does it. But this is where it did not get him a 3 count and only got him a 6 count. This is where Hangman Page is man, this guy, really is a main event veteran. And he's only just the very top few that only kicked out of that maneuver before. This is where we got Hangman Page but that's not going to stop me from hitting the move that I'm about to do next, which was probably a tombstone pile driver, which I was about to say, with all due respect to Hangman, but he's not the Undertaker. And this is where then we got Josh Alexander kind of saved that from happening. That's where I try to go for a tombstone pile driver. I was he's also not an Undertaker. No disrespect to that guy either. This is where Hangman Page try to counter, but this is where Josh Alexander ends up before he can even flip right out of it, preventing him from doing so. This is where you go hit him with this wheelbarrow pin, only for him to get a 2.3. This is where we got Josh Alexander going for an ankle lock, which I believe some fans were chanting, "You're not angle," because he does the ankle lock, of course. The only thing different about him and that guy is that as that he can bear the what chance from the fans, no matter what promotion he's wrestling for. But it's where we got Hangman Adam Page that are hanging onto the ropes. Hangman Adam Page that ends up going for a step up in Sagiri. This is where he knocks him right head first, like boom. This is where he nearly fell, but this is where then he barely got him, still kept his body up. It's where Hangman Adam Page then goes up, try to go for like a springboard maneuver into a moonsault, which still looked pretty impressive, by the way, with him. So this way he flipped over him to hit the tombstone pile driver. I'm like, he's not the Undertaker. Why did he do that maneuver? Gosh darn it. And this is where then we got Josh Alexander going for a pinfall. I mean, not a pinfall. I mean, Hangman going for pinfall on Josh Alexander. And he still kicked out at 2 point. What was it? Like 8, if I'm mistaken. That's where we got Heyman Adam Page waiting for Josh Alexander to hit the buckshot lariat for him to get. But this is where Josh Alexander like then did a smart move, because he took himself right out of the range and just went right into the other side, diagonal from Hangman. Right, I believe was in the right side. But no, it was the bottom corner slide for Josh Alexander, top corner for Hangman. This is where Hangman's like, all right, like you want to play hard to get by. This is where he's like, all right, like if you cannot do me a favor and stay where you at, I'm gonna have to do the favor myself. This is where then you try to go for a boot, only for Josh Alexander dodges out of the way. Then we got Josh Alexander hits a power slam directly on the back of Hangman Adam Page. This is where we got Josh Alexander picks him up, send him right into the hardest part of the ring apron. This is where we got Josh Alexander going for a crossbody, which he successfully did so into this dive. This is where he brought him right to the bottom corner side. He took over powerbomb. Only for Hangman to flip around, then kicks him right in the gut. But this is where Josh Alexander flip around. This is where he tried to go for insecurity. But this is where we got Josh Alexander go for an ankle lock. This is where then he got. But this is where Hangman Adam Page somehow flips him like how that like Eddie Guerrero did to that ankle guy. Like and when they were at the biggest spectacle of the year, fighting for the promotion's champion. That's now arch rival of AEW's. Then flips him over to a pinfall. Which this is the second time, which I don't have no problem of, because I kind of figured Hangman Adam Page would win, like despite like being someone like Josh Alexander. But even though that would like sometimes lose credibility, but it seemed like he did not really lose it, rather than gain some, even in defeat. Yeah, and this is where we got Hangman Adam Page got the roll-up victory of the most devastating move in all professional wrestling. If this was any other night, maybe I would say this was probably too much roll-ups. But since I only got 2 straight roll-ups in a row with both Mercedes Moné and Hangman Adam Page, I'll say I'm going to let it slide. But anyways, the Cowboy calls himself Sugar Honey Iced Tea, gets the win. Yeah, round of applause to that guy. This is where we got Josh Alexander like, why? Like, dang it, but he did deserve it. But this is where we got the Proto Star and came out to interrupt the victory of Hangman Adam Page. I'm like, man, what is up with these guys and gals that always trying to have a celebration moment of winning a round of the tournament, only for them to get interrupted, especially tonight. Except for the one, especially for the next one that's going to be winning in the semifinals. But anyways, this is where it was the Protostar himself, along with his kayfabe father, Mr. Donald Callis, a guy that you should not be trusting, a manipulative Paul. I don't know, I can't say that. A manipulative, psychotic manager in all of professional wrestling, a scumbag of all shape and form of the industry as well. But yeah, this is where then he came out, gave a round of applause to Hangman Adam Page. Like, yeah, like impressive. This is where then Hangman Adam Page like, you. Like, I'm going. This is where they start going after with what's his name, Kyle Fletcher. This is where Donald Callis came in and whispered something to Josh Alexander's ear, which I was like, what is you're trying to brainwash him now about? And this is where I was like, this is where I started begging like Josh Alexander, like, whatever he's saying to you, do not listen. But for some reason, Josh Alexander disobeyed your boy SNA here, even though he couldn't hear me because I wasn't there at the event. But yeah, this is where Hangman Adam Page throws Kyle Fletcher right to the bottom course line. For some whatever reason, like maybe he took some type of bribe from Donald Callis, he attacks Hangman Adam Page from behind. And maybe he's using the sore losing scenario as an excuse of doing so, which I believe is more than just him complaining about him losing his match against the Cowboy to cause him Sugar Honey Iced Tea. This is where fans start chanting "fuck Don Callis," which who could blame those fans for saying that? Like, because every time he's around, like nothing good happens. This is where Kyle Fletcher took this opportunity to attack Hangman by hitting this finishing brainbuster maneuver, Majiggy maneuver, and then this is where then he stand up tall over him. And I was like, and just like a go home show, I think that this is a sign that he's definitely not beating Hangman in the semifinals, which it could be like Hangman against either. One of the guys is gonna be winning on the next men's Owen Hart Cup tournament match. Excuse me for a second. All right, assassinators. Excuse me for a second. Trying to keep up my energy right now, but anyways, what are your thoughts on this feud between Hangman and Kyle Fletcher? Is it very intriguing to a point that it should showcase at an upcoming pay-per-view? Or do you think that it's perhaps it's perhaps too soon to do a Hangman versus Kyle feud? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But very interesting to see. Regardless of the scenario, I think Anthony Khan did a very terrific job about this mid-card non-title feud, which it seems like Don Callis and family will cause some chaos and mischief to anybody, to the point no matter who it is, including someone that's like a psycho himself, Hangman Adam Page. And so Don Callis will pay that price, like if they do if they end up being in this predicament with someone like Hangman. But anyways, I know we got Nicholas Wayne, but we're talking about like they've been him and his kayfabe brother, what's his name, Kip Sabian, what they call like wreaking havoc like in the last 2 weeks, and they're going to continue to do so, and this is where he ends up getting interrupted by his kayfabe stepfather, and that's Christian Cage. Everybody starts cheering him, and I guess he's potentially going to be back as a babyface. Because this is where Christian Cage came back. I was like, wow, this is also a big surprise as well, because you probably already know, what I'm about to say, I thought that we would never see him, even if it's a cameo, but it's where he's like, Daddy's home, Nick. And it's like, seeing what you've been doing lately, and I don't appreciate you doing all this chaotic stuff from the last few weeks, without my consent and stuff like that, blah blah blah. Get the point. But anyway, look like Christian Cage it's been quite a month for you, hasn't it, Nicholas? I've been watching from afar. I couldn't help over what you said. And you knew the reason why I executed the contract and didn't stick to the plan. But you said you're not going to reveal it behind my back. You're going to reveal it to my face. Well, now I'm back here. They'll say it right here, right now. This is what Nicholas Wayne was making excuse me. He's like, you need to stick to the plan because you couldn't even live yourself. Like he's like, and you the reason why you cashed in your little platinum contract because you were afraid and you knew that Cole had more chances of winning the AEW World Championship before you do, Christian Cage. This is why I was wondering, like, who's going to turn babyface if any of these two do fall out. Right? This is why Christian Cage is like, oh, that's what you think. That's what you think, right? That's not a fact. What we said is not 100% factual. Like, as a matter of fact, like, I don't think it's even 1% factual. And this is where it's like, it's fictional what's coming out of your mouth. He's like, you're nothing but you're making out this is an ass between you and me. And what I'm saying is a fact. I saw you face to face. You got a little fire lit underneath you, didn't you? And you're like, I like that. Like, and he's like, and don't make no mistake because I'm the reason why you're finally finding yourself in this industry. The reason why I didn't bother you because I always continue to you to maintain that momentum and let that fire underneath you keep going and don't smoke out. Like I was impressed that you did Dwayne with someone matter of fact, I know it's been a lifelong dream of the wrestler for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then you're gonna be facing in that Super Juniors tournament for the promotion. But how about I give you a warm-up match? And I'm gonna generously put that upon me, in the best way to get ready to tournament, and to keep your momentum going and going like you've been going. And then it's gonna be in a match against the Ring of Honor TV champion Commander tomorrow on the Night 2's Spring Breakthrough edition of Collision. This is where he wished him good luck and slapped him across his face. This is where Nicholas Ryan's like, "What that's supposed to mean?" This is where he's about to slap, but this is where he was about to go at him. He calmed himself down. This is where he not now but someday he was probably thinking to himself. But this is where they saw a replay of what happened with FTR when they turned on Cope and the Wednesday after that, which was last Wednesday on Dynamite, where Antonio Schiavone called out FTR, saying everybody, all your friends and family, including Uncle Dax Axe's 6-year-old daughter, must be very disappointed at the Axe Man, for turn his back on not only Cope but the rest of the AEW galaxy. But that's where we got Gates of Agony then had their match against the Hurt Syndicates, and I'm gonna say this is gonna get the silver trophy of the night. They even though they don't get the golden trophy, it still was something that it still was a match that was absolutely needed. Give both Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin some competition if they're going to hold on to those tag team championships for a little while, probably until All In. Give them some really true, competitors that's going to take them up to that particular limit in the tag team division if you're going to keep them tagged. Even though I'm not just a fan of them as tag teams, I like them in the singles position. But since they're faction right now, I really don't mind it. Especially with them being in very interesting matches with the likes of the Outrunners and the Learning Tree. They just need to continue to keep going, even though some say that that's it's basically an afterthought rather than being something that's main event worthy in the tag team scene, which I think they're ludicrous for saying that. This is they have not been on a very in a very a rocket fueled run with those tag team championships, facing the most greatest competitions in all of AEW, I guess you could say. But yeah. But this is where this tag team match was a tag team championship match, which I was stunned. Wow, this is for the titles. This is where we do have the match happening, but this is where it was, I believe, Bishop Khan that attacked what's his name? Bobby Lashley. Shelton Benjamin right to Bobby Lashley. This is where then we got Bishop Khan and told Iona hit their double knees and hip attacks right on to Shelton Benjamin, which Bishop Khan tagged in Toa Iona. This is where then we got Bishop Khan crossbody Bobby Lashley with Bishop Khan. This is where he starts screaming at the fans. This is where in the top corner, tags in, gets tagged back in by his brother Tola. This is where they start double teaming onto the gold standard. This is where Aubrey was like, all right, stop it. Like, y'all not making it. And I'll make the situation better. This is where they must have said, like, they don't care. They just wanted to beat him down. Like, they want to show what real pain really is, which I'll say, I was not sure if you can teach them something that they already knew. That's like teaching a kid at school, like whatever subject, whether if it's math, reading, spelling, history, science, or any kind of some type of subjective equation, like, and they already know what the problem is to solve. Like, it's just 2 + 2 = potatoes kind of situation of what they're doing here. But this is where then we got Bishop Contar hits a form strike onto the standard of excellence, which is Shelton Benjamin. This is where then Shelton Benjamin goes for a wrist lock, hit the drop kick. And my theory about the Hurt Syndicates, I was like, judging by their badass personas, you probably still think they're heels. But I think they're now officially baby faces, especially Bobby Lashley, with him not trusting a very fan-hated heel like MJF. That's the most scum of AEW's world, I guess you could say, in this business. But this is where then we got Shelton Benjamin, then gets up. This is where we got Benjamin, then picks up the of Bishop Khan. Is where then he sends him right to the upper right corner side, tagging Bobby Lashley, which I understand why they have these special big events. They always have it like sideways, have the ring being like in tag team matches being in the sideways position, like instead of doing the traditionally like with one team on the upper left side and then the opponent in the bottom right. Like they just do it the complete opposite, like with the one wrestler in the upper right side and then the opponent was in the bottom left side. Like if it's some kind of an independent wrestling event. But anyway, this is where we got Bobby Lashley gets tagged in. He spears the midsection of Bishop Khan. And this is where he goes for a neck breaker onto the one half of the gates of Agony, but only for Bishop Khan to the knife edge chop right into the chest. Then he went to the right corner side, only for Bobby Lashley to outsmart him. This is where then he countered out of a clothesline that Bishop Khan was trying to do. He driven him down right into the bottom corner. I mean, from the right side, actually. This is where Bobby Lashley hit a suplex onto the Gates of Agony member. This is where Bobby Lashley like, time for the spear. This is where then fans start cheering for the Hurt Syndicate member. This is where he's like, you know what? I can't do the spear yet. I had to close on him. This is where he almost did. So only for him to get elbowed by Bishop Khan, but once he went right to the top corner, Bobby Lashley immediately closed on him out of the ring. Then we got the former world champion, current AEW tag team champion, then driven Bishop Khan right to the upper corner's barricade. This is where we got the partial powerful force and all of professional wrestling came on. And this is where it was and once we got done with the partial adverts, it's where we got Bobby Lashley, then Irish whips Bishop Khan right into his own corner. This is where then he ducks out of his clothesline. This is where he goes to the top corner. This is where he tries to go for a clothesline. Only for both men to hit a double clothesline on each other, like giving Adam Cole and MJF a run for their money of that maneuver. But it wasn't Bobby Lashley. It was Shelton Benjamin that was in this situation with the Gates of Agony member. This is where Bishop told Iona to start making it more confusing because here he comes making a comeback maneuver, which some might say like the Hurt Syndicates are tweeners. But if that was the case, they would be like they would be wrestling some babyface teams lately. The last babyface team they fought in was back at Revolution in March against what's their names, the Outrunners. But they haven't faced a babyface tag team since then. But this is where we got Tola Iona then hit the super kick right in the face of Shelton Benjamin. This is where then we got Bishop Khan going for what they call a senton. Try to go for a pin. Maybe he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for a meddling almighty man, like which was Bobby Lashley. Hits him obviously bottom right corner slide. This is where of the turnbuckle repeatedly. This is where Aubrey was like, you better get back to your post or else you're going to get disqualified, which this is where Bobby Lashley's thinking about, but he was like, maybe I should do some finishing touches, then I'll go back to my post. But this is where then this is where we got Tola Iona grabs him right and puts him right to the bottom right side. They start hitting some stomps right into the midsection. This is where we got Tola and they hit some clothesline onto the Almighty. This is where our clothesline. This is where we're counting this clothes on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is where we got. Here's where the MVP are poking fun onto the Gates of Agony, saying like, "Yeah, I cannot deny how talented these two boys are, but you know what kind of gates of hell they're opening right now. They just don't know what they're getting into." Just where that was the case, like when Bishop Khan, Tola Iona thought he got Bobby Lashley right underneath the stump when he tried to hit him with a devastating lariat. But it's where Bobby Lashley hits the hurt lock, but it's where then he ends up getting boot right in the face by Tola's brother's Bishop Khan. That's where Tola Iona took advantage and closed on him out of the ring and towards the right side near the commentators. Tags in Bishop Khan. Tola Iona then going out with Bobby Lashley, trying to throw him right to the upper right side, which he ends up doing so to the Almighty. This is where we got Bishop Khan in the middle drop kick. Then we got Bishop Khan and trying to go putting Shelton Benjamin right on the shoulders. This is where then they try to go for some kind of fireman's carry maneuver, but Benjamin immediately escapes, trying to go for a German suplex like his two buddies that he used to be in amateur wrestling with. Like one was an Olympian, while the other one was a beast that was carnated. But this is where then we got. This is where we got Shelton Benjamin throws. What's the name? Bishop Khan right to the left side, hit the flying thrust kick or super kick, which these days is a signature move. He's been his finisher back in the day. This is where then we got this is where we got Shelton and go for a German suplex, flips him over, boom, and this is where then he then try to go for a German suplex. The second one. This is where then we got Bishop Khan and ends up getting flipped right back. This is where Shelton Benjamin was like, "Oh yeah, I on my suplex city, like I'm gonna take you that right now." That's where Bishop Tola Iona tried to close on Bobby Lashley's whole body out on the outside, but this is where it went backfire because he went to the outside instead. But not only that, because here comes Big Bob coming from the top corner to the right side in that direction. He spears Tola Iona right into that corner. He's like, "Yeah!" And that's where fans are chanting like, "We heard people, like in their entrance." This is where Sean Benjamin, okay, you took him down the big fella. Now I'll take out the little brother. This is where fans are chanting repeatedly. This is where the MVP acknowledges. You hear these fans? The Excalibur's like, yeah, loud and clear. And this is where then we got Shelton. And this is where he tagged Bobby Lashley after he hits his knee strike right into the upper right side. Bobby Lashley goes for a spear. 1, 2, 3. And the winner of this match and still their AEW Tag Team Champions, the Hurt Syndicates, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Yeah. But this is where their celebration getting interrupted. I'm like, what is up with these fan favorite wrestlers or keep getting interrupted? Like, the mockery. But I got him in, it was Maxwell Jacob Friedman. This guy is totally entertaining, even though he is a scumbag, like for some of y'all probably would say. But this is where we got MJF then ends up going right into the ring. And he surprised. This is where both Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley mugged the death out of him, like with this death glance at the salt of the earth. Saying like, what the hell do you want? This is where MVP tried to play the peacemaker. He's like, oh, well, calm down, boys. Like, yeah. I know this is the last person you want to see right now. This is where this is where fans are chanting for MJF's name. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, it's where MJF then poke fun with the crowd, like, which I told you about what he said. It was where MJF smile like what? It was like, enough how great I am. Like, yeah, you don't you shouldn't have. Like, but even though I am enjoying it, don't get me wrong, which is the out of character thing to say. This is where MJF's like, give it up to the Hurt Syndicate, baby. And this is where fans gave it a round of applause as well, because who does not want to see none of these guys in AEW? Like, they sure beat the bitch man for sure. But anyways, this is where we got MJF's like, even though, like, we're quite not in the same page, but let's find out real quick. Like, but here's the deal. Here's where, as you gentlemen know, I bring a lot to the table when it comes out to, like, even my tail knows this, and my other boy Shelton knows this. Like, you were great, by the way, in those gear. Like, even at your age of 50, like, you still look pretty good. Like, which he does. Like, he still looks perfectly, like, in shape. Like because, like, not even, like, half of 50-year-olds that I know don't even look like in Bobby Lashley's condition. I mean, not Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin's conditions. Yeah, if I'm saying this correctly, but yeah. But this is where we got MJF and he was like, and nothing, and no disrespect to one of the members, but let's just say they're a slow one learner, and this is where then Bobby Lashley knew he was referring to. So this is where he started trying to attack him. This is where MJF's like, I'm not naming on that. Like I didn't make no name. This is where MVP is like Bobby, chill, like yeah, like how we know you're talking to you? Like MJF, MVP was telling MJF. He was like, oh, okay, like we get your point, like, but what's your other point is? This is where he starts. This is where MJF is like, yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. This is where it's like, you're pissing. He's like, and like, as I was saying, what me and Montel offers and brings to the table, like I'm not just talking about my own, like, offer, like, myself. I got some talents right in the back, and then this is where it got to the point. This is where then Shelton Benjamin like, oh, like, what do you mean by that? And this is where the MJF gave a very and this where then what he described situation. What was it like? Like I'm not talking about my own. Like I'm talking about I got some talents in the back, like with a very maniacal face when he said it. This where it's like, and that is just dawning. And this where MVP's like, okay, like get to the point, like Maxwell, like you put your cards on the table. You're already provoking you're already pissing them off as it is. Like he's like I love you, man, but like you gotta make this snappy before things get worse. This is where this is where MJF's like, oh, like you're gonna like this, man. Like, and he's like, bring him out, and he knew this bribery that is definitely gonna convince Bobby Lashley. And I was thinking like, if the Great One was still reviewing AEW Dynamite videos, AEW Dynamite shows, I would say he would definitely be marking all over this because this is the number one thing that he always pokes fun about Bobby Lashley's gimmick. And we all know this, like from his time in the other company, and I believe half of them was from back in the other company when he was this gimmick as the Almighty World Champion, and that was all the ladies that came out. This is where then this is where MJF must be watching my boys the Great Ones videos because he said the one thing that you try to convince with Bobby is bring all them women, yeah. Which that's a reference to their time over at the other company when they were a totally different Hurt faction. That's where MJF started cracking up, started smiling like he did. This is where then Shelton Benjamin was like MJF better not be pulling the April Fool's prank. And besides, like that was like 2 weeks ago. And this is where he's like, this is where then he was checking out one of the ladies, like, and this is where when he was giving her 360 or whatever. This is where then. This is where Shelton Benjamin was like, wow, like he really is this serious? This is where then even Bobby Lashley was probably like a quarter convinced, but at the same time he still didn't trust the salt of the earth, like how we know that we can trust him, like if it's just a bribery to get himself in there, only to turn his back on us and stab us directly right into ours. And this is where then MJF was like. He was like, if you accept this offer, like, then I'm allowed to the Hurt Syndicate. And if the only way that you can count me in if you could give your thumbs up, and boys, the floor is yours. And then this is where then we got one of the ladies, which I probably recognize from the other company, to start rubbing all over Bobby's biceps. That's where MVP was like, okay, Bobby and Shelton, like, let's try this one more time with these ladies around us. This is where Maxwell Jacob Freeman was hanging on to the rope. This is where the MVP's like, I know how I feel like with him, like, acting like if he's a player pimp. This is where he started trying to get Shelton Benjamin's attention, but he wouldn't stop looking at a couple of ladies in his right. This is where like Shelton, which that had me. This is where it probably had everybody in Boston cracking up, which this is definitely getting the golden trophy of the night of Goofy Wrestling. And this is where Shelton Benjamin was like, well, like, even though they do look pretty nice, and this is a nice gift, Maxwell, like, I need a little more time for my convention. And this is where then MJF's like, no, it's all cool when the fans start booing. This is where MJF told the fans to shut up, like, and this is where I was like, well, that was very rude, like, especially in this very lovely city. But this is where the MJF's like, what do you need more time, man? Like, what are you talking about? This is where, and it is where the Shelton Benjamin was like, well, like, what I'm trying to say is, Maxwell, I think I need a little more time. And this is where then he looked at directly to MJF's expensive watch. This was like Shelton, like, you're really saying that you want my watch? And he's like, you want this off my wrist, brother? This is where then what's his name? Shelton Benjamin confirmed that by saying that's exactly what he was saying. This is where the MJF was like, you're my man. I knew I could count on you. This was like, I knew I could let you know. Like, I knew I like you. I knew you wouldn't let me down, Shelton Benjamin. This is where he started giving that very maniacal smile. Like, hit me out. Like, I will gladly give you this watch. Like, all you need to do is just give me a big old thumbs up right here in B Town. And this is where the Shelton Benjamin like, should I? Like, he's giving me all. I will. This is where Bobby Lashley was still not convinced. It's where the MVP started doing the struggle mode. Like, well, it's your choice. Like, all you have to do is give what kind of thumbs. This is where then it was like about to do the thumbs up. This is where then he was side by side. This is where Shelton Benjamin was almost at a thumbs up. But this is where he looked at Bobby Lashley's direction. This is where then he was like, nah. And this is where he's like, he looked like he was about to like, And this is where Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley told Shelton Benjamin that no, don't let it happen. This is where he put the full down. This is where then MJF was very disappointed. Like, what? Like, that's where Shelton Benjamin did a little fist bump. This is where he turned his back. Is where he was very disappointed. And this is where he's like, you must be out of your damn mind for doing that of democracy. Like, this is where he's like you just disgraced the democracy, and I love and support that. Like, you made it to a bad name. And this is where he's like, hell, like, I even respect the power of the people. Am I right? That's where it's where the scumbags start cheering, but it's where the MJF said maybe not these people, which that was very disrespectful. Yeah. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but baby's eating his bottle. Okay, no problem. It's probably almost done, so he'll need to be break. All right, I'm gonna go right now. Okay, excuse me for a second. But there's not very much because I'm only giving no problem. I don't want it to fall over. Yeah, like right into the towards the end of it. Yes, ma'am. And can you the one nobody talks like that. Silence. Why does Mickey Mouse look like Super Ninja Austin? They're like Adam Pierce. Why do you look like Adam Pierce? Creepy. I wish I. And God, please reconsider. Please reconsider making. Please reconsider about making. I love the individual. Oh boy, 3 a.m. You love eating hamburgers? Okay, excuse me. Do you and your cousin and your grandpa like eating? Nobody talks like that. Here's an idol. Oh. Yeah, Gary. Oh. Is the baby gave a baby boy? Oh. Does that keep little baby? Theodore. What smells like? Do I have anything to eat? No. Can I have anything to eat? Oh. Did the baby build you? Oh. Spit up a little. Look at me. Oh. Why are you so cute? Oh. You like a You look like Grandpa. Like your cousin's about to be with him. Oh. Oh, boy, Graham. Oh. Oh. You're such a cute. You're such a cute little chickass. Cute little chickass. Alright, your little chickass. Alright, why is my uncle always keep dressed up with these colorful outfits? I love them. I want to be exactly like Uncle Super Ninja Austin. Offered them to me before. She was like, oh my. Like the future cousin. I mean, like his future cousin, like your future cousin. I'm like, your kids, too. What's up with you grandbabies look like our grandpa? I got grandbabies that look like me. Of course, it's snack bar. Get up for camping. I should say the same thing about your sister going with a nickname. Of course, the snack bar. Get them back. I'm done with your grandpa. I'm done with your daddy. You got some dirty ass dinner. Is it like a rice meal or what's the little cheese? What's that called? Yeah, good quick. Or maybe even Japanese. Wonton. What? I like it. Wonton? That's genius. Here, have a wonton. What? I like it. Wonton? Want to eat a hamburger? That was cute. You look like a cute little duck. You look like a Donald Duck. Oh, what's it, the Mickey Mouse? Look what I found in the forage. Yep. Oh, ow. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Wait, why wait? You see, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. This is a decent fella, aren't you? You gotta make like 12, 1300.
Do you want to eat more now, or do you want to save that for?
It's gonna be great. I want to keep on cooking. It's gonna be great. I don't want to scroll that up. So I need to let's figure out that feed. You said he was awake. My other son's awake. Mm-hmm. Sure is. Oh, he's so sweet. Oh. You're watching the Mickey the Mouse? Oh, yeah. You got the most prettiest eye in the universe. Let's have some good stuff with each other. And go where you do. Let's have some good stuff with each other. We're gonna mix it up, mix it up, mix it up, make it. Mix it up, oh, look at you, cutie. And where are you from? I gotta get rid of this fucking gun. Wow. Why do y'all be moving around, Uncle Julian? It's your job to be the cool and best uncle at the little Lion Baby Center. Everybody. Okay. I'm kidding. Okay. That move around.
No, I said you have no plans, but then I said you have no plans. Bad enough after worrying about 2 days from now. That's if you're not going to go. Oh, okay. Yeah, they come right again. Calling down real quick. Ow. Yeah, but that, like I said, that's leaving an answer, man. He picked you up before. I went a long time ago. He didn't pick you up. I could have swore he had. Like, I'm not like with me or to come pick me up. Yeah, you asked me. There we go. Like 59. Come get you. Yeah. This is Shay's fucking thing. He's a fucking bitch. He's so sick. What the fuck is wrong with your uncle? Fucking stupid. He kept sending me laughing emojis like he was his David. You're fucking disgusting. Yeah, he did. He just say no. He said say. He said say. What do you think you're gonna make that? What should you say? Look at him. He said. I said she gets nowhere near that thing. I said she gets nowhere near that thing. Oh, needs somebody is bloody shit. And I said, no. Somebody like this right here. Blood. Coming after you do that.
Shit, blood. Ew.
He's disgusting. He said after that thing goes up there. He's fucking disgusting.
All right, assassinators, I'm back here. Let's continue going to the. Oh yeah, there was the Hurt Syndicate and MJF segment. That's what I was. I think it was. This was MJF. Then they're like, all right. Yeah, okay. I made my point. Like, you know what I think? I think that I am going on you guys. Like, yeah, I'm telling you what. As y'all continue to. And then the token of my appreciation for you, Bob. Bob, and you too, Shelton. And if you want this watch, and it's like you can, but how about I'm gonna let you have them for now? You don't even have to accept me into the group. Yeah, you can. Like, when I do join the Hurt Syndicate, but when I do join the Hurt Syndicate, later on, there'll be plenty of more watches and women. Where that came from, that I just came up and scratched up with. This is where MJF didn't walk right out of there. This is where what's his name, Bobby? I was like, I hope that won't be the case because it will be only a matter of time when I start being convinced. This is where MVP was trying to convince him himself, saying you give the young man a chance. This is where it's like, you have a point, Montel. This is where then. This is where we got MJF then said his infamous catchphrase, which is the what's that called? Which is the I'm better than you and you know it slogan. And then this is where then all right, and this is where then the Hurt Syndicate then went with their women. This is where they show what happened when the last time Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita was in the battle was all the way back in October 2024, which was last October, by the way. And this is where they were getting ready for that matchup next. And let me tell you, this was a total banger as well. It's definitely getting tied with in the first place golden trophy spot with the Josh Alexander versus Hangman match and the Hurt Syndicate against I'm not a Hurt Syndicate. It was. Now, what am I talking about? Oh, in the main event were the Trios Championships, but we're going to get into that in just a moment. But once we got done with the next powerful force, is where then we got MVP was talking to Bobby Lashley this is where we got. This is where it was Alicia Tal of all people. Then was in the backstage, another backstage interview with the Hurt Syndicate, and she won't get enough of talking about her husband, even though he called her skank ass. Well, that's his words, not mine. I didn't say. I'm just pointing out the logic into it. But this is where then we got. This is where MVP then told their ladies saying, "Can you give us a minute?" And this is where then this is where MVP was like, "Yeah." He's like, now let's talk, boys. This is where then this is where then Bobby was like, I don't trust this guy. This is where the MVP's like, I understand that, but you're having a personal reaction. And there's a difference between something personal and business, just like the bank accounts when you go to a bank. And this is where then he was like you put all your personal things into the side and let's do business. And this is where it's talking we're doing these things in a business standpoint, not being associated to this guy. And this is where MJF could be a bit, and this is where Bobby Lashley then clearly finished the sentence onto MVP's word to describe the salt of the earth, which was annoying. Here's where MVP's like, yeah, exactly. But business-wise, in perspective, we could use MJF to get what we want. And then that is power of AEW. So all I'm asking you, Big Bob, is you just ease up to the guy. You get my word. The moment he gets out of line, we're immediately gonna step him out or keep him out, and you have to pay for the consequence. But this is where he's like, but that will be for later. If that whenever that does happen, and this is where he's like, but for right now, can we just celebrate and have a great time? I mean, after all, y'all just retained y'all's AEW World Tag Champion. You didn't need Maxwell's help for doing that. So think of it in that perspective. This is where it eased up to Bobby Lashley, and he convinced Bobby with some smiley faces, handshake, and fist bumps is where then they walk right out there with the latest, with their heydays in the other company. Or other place, the heyday, and they're up in the other place. Let me rephrase that. But this is where we got Will Ospreay coming out. And what are your thoughts onto the storyline? This angle between MJF and the Hurt Syndicate has gotten you very interested, about MJF could join the Hurt Syndicate? And do you want to join the faction? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But let's move on to the next match, which I'm totally giving an automatic golden trophy of the night itself in its own rights. It's just that it had that spark like a main event worthy match, and if it wasn't for the match that actually did main event the show, I would have definitely be saying like, how come this is not the main event tonight? But like this is something that's like a centerpiece, like to the like its own centerpiece, I should say, in the match. So I'm saying like, regardless, this is gonna get some plenty of some fiery reactions in a good way from the fans, which the fans were giving out their response by saying "Holy shit!" Which, even though that's more of a shocking kind of reaction, rather than something that's appreciative, like by saying this is like if it was more appreciative, they would have been saying this is awesome chance rather than saying "Holy sugar honey iced tea." Like, which that it should have said that when something extremely insane happens. But like, I mean, let's just say that was the case as well. But this is where we got Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita was going for wrist locks after wrist locks into each other's arms, and it was like exactly. And I'll say exactly like if they were fighting for a championship again, but this time it was a non-title tournament match for a shot at the AEW World Championship, which I'm get into for another time. But this is where we got what's the name? Will Ospreay try to go for an armbar, only for Konosuke Takeshita getting out of it. And this is why I was like, this is why Konosuke Takeshita is one talented son of a gun, like without Donald Callis. And I'm waiting, just counting the days until he realized how much of a gold digging scumbag Donald Callis is. But anyways, this is where then we got Konosuke Takeshita throws Will Ospreay right into the upper right corner slot. Then he try to go for a right hand, but Will Ospreay ducks out of the way. This is where Ospreay's like not too slow, Kano, and this is where then Konosuke Takeshita was like, of course you would say that. And this is where Will Ospreay's like, okay, like let's get serious and back into this fight. This is where Will Ospreay sends Konosuke Takeshita right to the upper right side. This is where then the referee's like, all the right stuff. He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where then he might go for. This is where fans start chanting, spray. Just something similar to like when he did his entrance, but it was a different way to say spray. And this is where I was like, what kind of fragrance are y'all spraying now? Like, hopefully it's something that's like Febreze or the Axe cologne or even Old Spice. Hopefully it's something that smells good like that rather than just something that smells awful. That's like some kind of spray like that. But this is where we got. This is where Donald Callis then was saying like I'm the one that made these two guys, and I was like, yeah, that's an exaggerated story, like from Donald Callis. Starting to sound like that immortal guy over at the other place that's in the fair share of his controversies, but maybe not as worse as that guy though. But anyway, this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita then start going for grapple right onto Konosuke Takeshita. This is where then he dips Will Ospreay right to the bottom corner. Only for Will Ospreay will not let go. This is where he was trying to go for some kind of an Irish whip of his own, but Konosuke Takeshita geniusly went for a headlock. And yeah, these guys are both very, 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 very brilliant and excellent in their style, what they were doing. But this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita go for a sword tackle, only for Will Ospreay to go kip up, but he still gets sword tackle yet again. But this time with Konosuke Takeshita going from the right side. This is where then he was running through the left and right side ropes. This is where Ospreay goes leap dodge. Reverse leap dodge, like with him putting his back on, putting his back right onto what's the name? Onto the left side, the right side. This is where then we got what's the name? Well, Ospreay try to go for an arm drag, but this is where we got. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita then throws Will Ospreay right to the right corner slide. Then he goes to put him to the left. This is where he got this is where Will Ospreay kicks him right in the head. But it's where when Will Ospreay went first to the left side, try to go back to the right, he nearly got hit with a pop-up powerbomb, but only for Will Ospreay to hit a Hurricane Rana. This is where Will Ospreay's like, just my soldiers off. And then this is where then we got the former AEW International Champion start going for knife edge chops right onto the chest of the Alpha. This is where then we got Will Ospreay that hits Springboard. What's that, Swanton? Then Will Ospreay was like, yeah, and that's how you get the job done, bruv. And then this is where then we got Will Ospreay then ends up picking up Konosuke Takeshita with the fans, which are they're chanting something, which I believe it was bruv, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because they were like, bruv, 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 like when they were chanting. Because that's found to be a catchy catchphrase for Will Ospreay when he calls his opponents or friends or anybody that he associates or hang around. He calls them bruv because he let them know that he's on another level. And that's what he let Konosuke Takeshita tonight when he hit this maneuver that I used as my signature move on 2K24, like springboard flip, which I'm gonna do on 2K25. But this is where before he can even get a chance to do the maneuver, this is where Konosuke Takeshita does. This is where Will Ospreay kind of figured that was gonna happen, so he improvised by doing a full backflip, and this is where then he. Here's where then he go for a clothesline with Konosuke Takeshita went to the left side. Konosuke ducked out and hit a flying clothesline on his own, leaping lariat, like which Excalibur described it. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita send him right to the right corner side. With Konosuke hits a flying cannonball, driving Ospreay right into the floor. This is where we got the fellow former AEW International Champion, International champion then brought him back in the ring when the partial powerful force and all the pro wrestling came on, which I believe he was a fan favorite, which I mean who could blame the powerful force onto this, even though it's for the expense of my boy Ospreay. But I cannot deny the fact that Konosuke Takeshita is over right now, no matter what position he is in. This is where we got. But that did not still slow down Will Ospreay because here comes Will Ospreay flipping right out of it. This is where back in his ring. This is where he hits a hidden blade onto him, which I believe he was unsuccessful. For that time, at first before that he was unsuccessful the first time. This is where. Then he gets hit with a blue thunder bomb, which Konosuke was arguing with Simon Miller, which is a bad habit, like that Sammy dude and Kristen Statlander have, when it comes of doing the complete opposite on what exactly the Alpha want. What the Master of Ups and Downs want them to do. This is where he tried to go for a pin, and do you think it worked? You probably will be spitting if you said yes. But anyways, this is where we got Will Ospreay hit the hidden blade, only for him to kick out of it and this is where he did Will Ospreay hit a hidden blade, but that did not work. It was at 2 what was it? 8, if I'm mistaken, is where then he tried to flip him over to a roll-up, only for Ospreay to hit a Styles Clash, which he ends up doing so, like it's idol, like that guy that's going to be competing at the biggest showcase event of the year. This is where me personally thought he was going to win with this maneuver. Only for the complete opposite happened because here comes Konosuke Takeshita kicking out at 2.9. 9 of the ninedoms, minus 0.1. And this is where we got Will Ospreay try to go for the hidden blade again, which third time was not the charm, but this is where Konosuke Takeshita then hits a backslide. Will Ospreay flips right out of it, but Konosuke the knee strike. I was like, don't tell me it's gonna be an upset, even though that Konosuke Takeshita probably would deserve this, but at the same time, I was leaning towards hopefully that Ospreay was going to get the dub, which my lucky ass got, by the way, because when this is where Kyle flipped. What I'm talking about, Konosuke Takeshita trying to go over a clothesline. Will Ospreay do this rolling flip like about to go over a DDT, but rather go for a double underhook, hits this spinning butterfly neckbreaker maneuver to get the 1, 2, 3 that way, and the winner of this match, and making it to the semifinals like the CEO Mercedes Moné did in the women's version. He's in, and it's Will Ospreay. And these the two of my favorite wrestlers are making it to the semifinals. Finally get their spots of winning the men's and women's AEW World Heavyweight Championships, respectively. Hopefully that does happen, but let me know in the comments below about this match, which is, like I said, it's going to get the Golden Trophy of the night. He eliminates Konosuke Takeshita, but like I said, hopefully Konosuke Takeshita will realize what's the dead weight that's keeping him back, and it's definitely not someone like Will Ospreay, they gave him a very fair fight. Luckily, Donald Cowston got involved, or else it probably would have definitely been backfiring, and maybe that would have reached the breaking point of Mr. Takeshita here, which hopefully that he does kick him to the curb, hit him with one of his knee strikes or spinning kicks or whatever, or even that. I'll even settle for that spinning Falcon Arrow finisher that he normally do to his opponents, in normal non-title action matches. But yeah, when do you think that time will come? Like, and do you think Will Ospreay will be the tournament winner? Which I hope that's gonna be the case. But either way, like about that, like he will be facing either Hangman Adam Page or Kyle Fletcher, because next week we will be seeing them gonna be fighting when they're gonna be in Louisiana, New Orleans. Yeah. While what's her name, Jamie Hayter and Kristen Statlander will be wrestling in that same night. And who do you think is going to win on next week's edition of Dynamite when everything goes back to normalcy? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But I'm sure going to miss this week, like because of this reason, and for the second reason because the biggest showcase event is definitely going to be on, and I will be making a back-to-back podcast on that as well. But moving on, we got then we got the main event of the evening, which is the third Golden Trophy worthy match of the night, which is going to get the first place spot as well. These matches totally rocked. I'll say all the matches felt like if I was watching a pay-per-view rather than watching like a weekly show. Like if Spring Breakthru was a pay-per-view, I'll say this would probably fit in that description. But this is where we got the Death Riders, or like what Samoa Joe would call them, the Riders. Like this is where then John Moxley was holding on to the AEW, one-third of the AEW Trios Championship. This is where we got Samoa Joe and Katsuyori Shibata that came out. But this is where, they revealed that Hook is injured and he wouldn't be able to make it on tonight's Dynamite with what Claudio Castagnoli did to him. Well, in kayfabe, that is, of course. But I believe he actually did suffer the legitimate injury. Like, I'm not sure if it was, like, during the post-match beatdown, or maybe it was... Or maybe like it was like perhaps like what's that called? Or maybe like it was during the match that he had last week. I'm not sure exactly. But like this is where they found their replacement, and it was none other than Powerhouse Hobbs. And this is where then he started taking care of the brainwashing faction, like of them. But this is where then we saw like probably, I guess you could say, a quarter of the end of the Toxic Water reign of terror, I guess you could say, because just like probably the number one best city of the United States, like Boston stopped the toxic water from coming through the dough. But yeah, anyways, this is where then we got Powerhouse Hobbs throws Willa Yuta right into the bottom right side, bottom left side actually, corner, splashing on him. While what's his name, Katsuyori Shibata was going at it with Claudio. Samoa Joe was with John Moxley until they got back their post when both Powerhouse Hobbs and what's his name, Willa Yuta were the legal man. Like after Powerhouse Hobbs power slams him right on the Allen the announce table. This is where he started clothes on him like a certain chief of a tribe. This is where then we got John Moxley then came out, and this is where then he was like, but yeah, this is where we got John Moxley was getting very offensive, and he was like, hey, like you can't do that. Like I have a friend that already does that. This is where Powerhouse was like, well, are we in that company? This is where then John Moxley was like, well, no, but then this is where then Powerhouse was like, but nothing. Like you shouldn't have interrupted me when doing that. When we're in this company, not in that other company. This is where then we got Powerhouse Hobbs then scare off what's his name, John Moxley. This is where they thought it was a perfect distraction for Willa Yuta to attack him from behind, but they were making a massive mistake about this, because here comes Powerhouse Hobbs going directly to what's his name, Willa Yuta. This is where then he realized that he was the legal man. This is where he power slammed him. This is where he sent him right directly into his direction. This is where he's like, all right, Joe, you want to get tagged in? This is where Samoa Joe's like, you damn right I want to. This is where they agreed to make a ginormous tag in. This is where the Samoan submission machine came in. This is where he's like, like I'm going to show these suckers like a lesson that they're not too soon to forget. And this is where then Samoa Joe basically did that. This is where then they go for a right strike right onto the jaw of the young member of the Death Riders, and started input when fans are chanting Joe. I'm like, yeah, I know that's right. Like if anybody that's gonna put a stop onto the what's it called? Like if nobody's gonna put a stop on the Death Riders next to the likes of Swerve Strickland and others, including Willow the Pillow Nightingale and them, like it's definitely going to be Samoa Joe as well into that list of guys that the Death Riders made enemies of, because because of their rant of trying to brainwash the whole entire AEW company. But this is where Samoa Joe sends what's his name, Willa Yuta right to the bottom right side, hits a hip attack, hit that step up into Giri, which is the move that he would hit like it's a comeback. Fans started chanting the very iconic chant of when Samoa Joe's on the rampage, with them saying Samoa or Joe's gonna kill you. I believe that's what they said. With them doing it as a repeated chant. This is where then we got Samoa Joe tags in what's his name? To Konosuke Takeshita. This is where he started hitting some elbows and chops. This is where then fans were chanting for the wrestler. This is where then we got Konosuke. Not Konosuke. Katsuyori Shibata. I mean, what does it? Katsuyori Shibata. This is where he hit the boot on John Moxley. Then he went right back to Willa Yuta, which that was probably a smart move from the wrestler. This is why he's the best. Like teaming with Samoa Joe and Hook is the ops. But this is where we got. Katsuyori Shibata then went for a sleeper right on the Willie. This is where fans are cheering for them because they are a cool babyface. Until we got Willie that throws him on the outside. This is where he distracted the referee for giving enough time to Claudio Castagnoli to throw Katsuyori Shibata right onto the upper right corner's barricade. Then we got Claudio Castagnoli. We finally took out the heavy trash around here, and then this is where then we got Powerhouse Hobbs like, oh, I'll show you like who's gonna be mad at the trash at the end of this night. And this is where then Powerhouse Hobbs was spitting facts into this situation. This is where then we got Willie Yuta throws Katsuyori Shibata. This is where fans start chanting bullshit, and this is where then we got this is where then we got this is where we got Katsuyori Shibata tags in. Not Katsuyori, I mean. What's his name? Willie Yuta tagged in Samoa Joe. This was Samoa Joe you want some of this? Like, you want to mock me like that? This is where he was about to end him early, but this is where the referee reminded him he's not the legal man. This is where Samoa Joe's like, fine, I'm getting out of here. This is where we got Claudio Castagnoli starts stepping onto him. This is where we got Katsuyori Shibata then slaps Claudio in the chest, which I'm surprised the referee seen him tagging it, considering he was distracted with Samoa Joe. This is where then Katsuyori Shibata hits some knife edge chops. This is where Claudio Castagnoli like, come on, I wanted to feel more pain. And then this is where then Katsuyori Shibata's like, okay, fine with me. Don't say I didn't warn you. This is where Claudio Castagnoli hit a big old chop onto him, which he probably earned him placed the third place spot. This is where then we got the final break, which is the partial power force in all of pro wrestling, which Excalibur announced before it even came on. But once it got done, with this final one, this is where we saw Katsuyori Shibata and Claudio Castagnoli was going at it with them strikes right to each other because they were playing wrestling tennis. This is where we got Katsuyori Shibata then intercept Claudio Castagnoli's clothesline, turned to an STO. Both men fell down to the ground until they start calling to their respective partners, which we got Samoa Joe got tagged in by Shibata while Claudio tags in his bestie, Willie Yuta. Samoa Joe was letting him have it, which I believe this was a horrible mistake from the Swiss Cyborg. He would have better chances of sacrificing himself trying to stop Samoa Joe with his comeback, but this is where he ends up trying to take the easy way out, only for it to be easy for the latter, the Samoan submission machine himself. But this is where we got Willie Yuta try to break him in the eyes when he go to the right corner side. He ends up getting power slam, but this is where he tried to go for a pin. He probably would have got away with it if it wasn't for the meddling Mox, which is the leader of this horrible group. But this is where John Moxley grabbed on the chair, which I believe that if he used it, he's going to get disqualified, but at the same time, they will be retaining the champion. But that's not how you want to be a champion. This is where Excalibur pointed out, saying he's trying to take the easy way out, but only for – this is where the former the current AEW World Champion try to use it on the Samoa submission machine, but luckily Samoa Joe and his group had backup because here comes probably likely an honorary female member, and that is Willow the Pillow, Nightingale the Night Terror. This is where she's like, no, you're not going to be using that. She gives a finger to John Moxley. She's like, here, how about a taste of your own medicine? She gave him the finger. This is where then you see how you like it if you get something taken away from you. This is where Samoa Joe then took advantage of the moment, did the boot right into the face by John Moxley. This is where Willa Yuta then goes for a middle drop kick. This is where Samoa Joe had enough time to no sell it because he did quickly hit it because Willa Yuta knew he would have moved out of the way if he waited long enough. But it's where then we got Katsuyori Shibata that hits a boot right to the face. Claudio Castagnoli then was having trouble of popping him up with him in the European. I thought he was going to hit like a knee gut buster. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs had a double A spine buster, only for John Moxley to hit the middle missile drop kick, thinking that he's in the lead now. But once he went up to Samoa Joe, he boots him in the face, but only for Samoa Joe to fight back, hit a big old lariat right onto the current AEW World Champion. Both men fell down to the ground. Like this, where then Will the Pill's like, "Come on, Samoa!" And then this where I was even doing the same thing, but I was watching on my little device. This is where then we got This is where fans are saying, Joe. But this is where we got the irresponsible EVPs had to show up. I was like, what the hell they're doing out here? Like, it seems like that they're pretending that they don't have no associations with the Death Riders when they damn sure do have a lot of associations, because how come they cost Swerve Strickland the AEW World Championship? And no, it's not because of Hangman Adam Page, because Hangman Adam Page even tried to help Swerve win that championship because he knows that the Death Riders are worse than even the former AEW World Champion. But this is where, speaking of the mogul himself, this is where he happened to pretend to be a fan. This is where he attacks them by clocking them and followed up with a swerve stomp right on the boat mill. Like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. This is where everybody in Boston was chanting, "Whose house? Swerve's house." But Swerve Strickland gave a very I'll say happily grin, I guess you could say. It's where Prince Nana was shouting, "Whose house?" And that's where everybody was chanting Swerve's house. That's where the Swerve Strickland sent him right to the back in the audience. This is where the John Moxley tried to attack Samoa Joe, I believe, in the bottom right side, or was it the upper right side? It's where he hit I believe it was the upper right side. Is where Samoa Joe hits his signature Uranagi slam, like in the counter, which he's famous of doing, just like that guy that has an E in his name of its obvious big with a big, what's it called, with his with his big strength. This is where Samoa Joe that ends up going. Katsuyori Shibata goes for a boot right onto the face onto Claudio Castagnoli. This is where Shibata did put him to sleep on it. Right when he tried to at first Claudio tried to fight back, but this is where Katsuyori Shibata ends up countering out of it, ducks out of it, goes for a sleeper because he probably knew that he didn't got his 8 hours, and then he tried to put him to sleep, which it was working. Like the vast majority of it. This is where they did it right onto the sternum on the what's that called, the ramp. I'll say, yeah, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, I'll say, next to so many others, like from that company and then this company, AEW. But anyways, this is where we got Samoa Joe that was about to hit the Samoan Muscle Buster onto John Moxley, right onto the bottom right side, but only for Willa Yuta's weasel ass to come in here and hit the axe handle right into the back of Joe. This is where then Willa Yuta went to the left side. Samoa Joe tried to go to clothesline, only for trying to go for a suicide dive on the Powerhouse Hobbs, but Powerhouse Hobbs then tossed him right on the out of the announce table again with him hitting the Uranagi slam. So I'm like, boom! And it's where it nearly made the arena shake into an earthquake. This is where Marina Shafir then hits Powerhouse with the chair from behind, like if she's that wrestler that did it to that chief that has a tribe over the other company, that this guy in the comments said is he my favorite wrestler, which I admit that he is, but yeah, that's what Marina Shafir did, it like a chair shot like he did this past Monday. But it's where Willow the Pillow had their backs and speared the female member of the Death Riders, like boom, to spear them like with all her very heavy stuff and fluff, like if she's a female pillow wrestling version of Winnie the Pooh, because she's filled with stuff and fluff, because she's basically like a teddy bear. Like she might be fluffy, cute, and cuddly, but she's also very heavy, mean, and dangerous when she needs to be. Like which she was tonight when the Death Riders female member was getting involved, even though she shouldn't be. But this is where then we got John Moxley going for the Death Rider or the Paradigm Shift, whatever. But Samoa Joe countered before he could do anything. He's going for a wrist lock, turns it to the Coquina clutch. This is where he started choking him out. Like, this is where the John Moxley did not have his 8 hours, or else he would probably still be awake. But this is where Samoa Joe immediately put him to sleep. This is where the referee's like, all right, like there's no other reason why we need to keep this match going on. Like it's over. It's a done deal. This is where this is where the Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs and Katsuyori Shibata became the new trio champion. Have you heard me correctly? Like the Ops and their honorary member Powerhouse Hobbs became the new, what you heard Justin Roberts said loud and clear, and that is the new AEW Trios champions. And it's the Ops, Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs. A massive congratulations to those guys. And it's getting the Golden Trophy as well, along with when Will Ospreay against Konosuke Takeshita and Hangman Adam Page against Mr. Josh Alexander, which was a massive, what's that called? Which was a massive debut, not to mention, by the way. But yeah, like AEW was totally tremendous. And yeah, thank you so much, and I would say thank you so much to Mr. Anthony Khan, I should say. Yeah, and like he made this happen, and I was totally very grateful for Anthony to book this whole entire AEW show, like making it like a spectacle itself, but it's something like a preview of AEW All In if it was a 2-night event. Well, I'll say this was only the first night because we still have the second night, which is tomorrow, which they were announcing about what's the matches and the segments going to be happening on that show. I can hardly wait for part 2 of the Spring Breakthru, which is going to be the collision version of Spring Breakthru. It's going to be part 2. This is where we got all 3 members are all the trios champions. That's where Samoa Joe was trying to offer one for Powerhouse Hobbs. Like, since you help us, got this win, you earn one too. Like, even though I wish it was Hook right here that was going to be the champ, this is where the Powerhouse Hobbs, I know, you want, no, I'll let you decide. That is where Samoa Joe, you know what, since you are so determined and so regard about this situation, how about you deserve this. This is where he handed him the championship. This is where we saw the lit up pyro start going off like if it's the other company, even though it was a fiery version of it. Because this was a big title celebration, which I give large round of applause to. This is where we got Will Ospreay wanted to join the celebration because he's in the semifinals. And then this is where this was probably the biggest celebration of the night. Even though, Will Ospreay should, have a spotlight like this. And I'll say the same with, the Hurt Syndicate. Well, the Hurt Syndicates are going to be celebrating with their ladies. But I was like, what about the CEO, Mercedes Moné? Which, I don't know, maybe he's about to come out. But this is where we got, probably everybody in the whole locker room came out, that celebrates with the Ops, when they finally put the end, maybe I'll say 3/4 of an end of the Death Riders, because there's still a quarter left of John Moxley's fair share of that toxic, disgusting water that's in here. Because since he's still the AEW World Championship, there's only a matter of time they're going to go back to their dirty, disgusting, toxic ways. But that's when that time comes. But this is now, this was a totally terrific AEW Dynamite. Yeah, thank you, and once again, thank you, Anthony, for putting a smile on my face and fueling my satisfaction of me as a spectator at home, for AEW Dynamite. And I'll say, and not only it's gonna get a 4, 4.5, or even a 5-star. I'm gonna say straight up, it's getting the platinum level 10 stars. Yeah, it's getting the perfect 10, which is something I very rarely give out. But since this was probably the greatest AEW, the AEW Dynamite show I've ever watched in years, and overall in AEW, I'm definitely gonna be giving it that much. It just completely entertained me from start to finish. And it's what I say, even though the E in AEW does not stand for entertainment, but it sure as hell entertained me. But yeah, what are your thoughts on AEW Dynamite tonight? Please let me know in the comment section right down below. But yeah, but this ended with a big old happy ending. AEW, I don't care what anybody been criticizing about. This wasn't a great show. And if anybody says that, they just don't know what they're talking about, because they obviously did not watch tonight's show in particular, at least, to say that this wasn't a really great show. Yeah. But But yeah, like I hope y'all enjoyed the video. That's all I'm going to talk about right now. I can't wait for part 2 to come on, like I just said. And that was it from start to finish. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If so, please make sure to hit the big thumbs up button. And hopefully that AEW was really good for you, assassinators, as well. Like to a point that you would give it at least about a good, perfect 5 stars, if not a 10. But yeah. But we're just leave it down in the comment section right down below. Also, if you like this video, please smash the big old thumbs up button. Also, hit the subscribe and the post notification bell for more of SNA's videos. And also subscribe on his other channel at SNA Entertainment, which I will be doing my movie news and animation news back to back like last week. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about from animation series to typical animation series, like to anime. Like we're gonna be talking about all of the wildest and intriguing animation news and rumors that you assassinators need to know. I need to check out what's in my schedule on what exactly I'm gonna be talking about in particular. Okay. Right here, the animation news and rumors that you assassinators need to know. And it will be on I would say Wired Animation article and the Wired Animation article. And then for the movie side, we got like from action packed to comedy. Here are the wildest and intriguing movie news and rumors that you assassinators need to know from EmpireOnline.com, of course. And make sure to check those out tomorrow in the afternoon, likely. And also check out my AEW part 2, night 2 what's that SpringBreakThru review, which I will be talking about, which is going to be the Collision version, because since this is a 2-night special, and also like WrestleMania, night 1's going to be fully stacked, like to the point that they're going to need all the time on their own, like without any wrestling show going to be on. Like, and out of the respect for AEW, they were generously to move it to Thursdays for this one Thursday for one night. But yeah, but it's where the one thing I know that we're gonna be talking about tomorrow is we're gonna be seeing like the CEO, Mercedes Moné, gonna be back in action, but this time in tag team action with likely her new tag partner, which is the RAF creator herself, Harley Cameron, to take on Julia Hart and Kristen Statlander. Let me know in the comments we're going with. This time I think they're gonna win, because what would be the freaking point if they're not gonna get these two over as a team? Like, if there's gonna be any plans in the future for them to be a tag team duo, if Anthony Khan finally considers and bringing in some women's tag gold into his company, which hopefully that will be the case much sooner rather than much later. But I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see about that. Like, let's hope that he finds this is an experiment before he goes to that level, go to that path. But yeah, we also got probably gonna be seeing Adam Cole, baby. I think he's gonna be in action as well. Like, I believe he's gonna be teaming with. I think he's gonna team with Daniel Garcia. I don't know. I don't know what exactly. But they didn't really say much about AEW Collision, like on the night 2 or the night 2's spring breakthrough Collision, I should say, night 2 on April 17th, 2025. And I hope that you assassinators have a wonderfully fantastic night, on this lovely Thursday. And I will see you next time with some more SNA content. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin out of here. Bye-bye, my assassinators. Take care and have a miraculous rest of your Wednesday night. And I will talk to you guys again later. Peace. And thank you for watching until the very end. I low-key appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow when I talk about night 2's AEW Spring Breakthrough edition of Collision, though, which they're going to be in the same city of Boston, of course. And yeah, and this is like a back-to-back treat for us AEW fans. And hopefully that Anthony Khan continues to bring in more of these exciting events where this came from, just like WWE's doing with WrestleMania. I cannot wait to do the back-to-back Manias from night 1 to night 2. It looks like it's a full stack exciting card as well on that company. These are why these are the reason why I'm both an AEW and WWE fan. And it's so great to be a wrestling fan in general as well. Because it just don't stop. It always comes on week after week after week, and it always continues to bring into that entertaining. I'll say, what's that? It gives you that entertaining feeling, I guess you could say, if that's the right term to put. And it just continued to entertain. You never gets boring. It never gets old. It is some kind of addiction in a way, but in a good way. If you know what I mean. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and peace, and see you soon.